All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live at Farm with your host, Levi Khan. Welcome to everyone, whether you come right away or in the middle of it, or you come to watch it after it's pre-recorded here. Good afternoon. My day, and now I have to mute something here. All right. Okay. So that being said, I think we should just get right down to it here. As you can tell, the title reads, Trust the Ones Who Rule Your Government. Now, I've said it off and on throughout videos that are deleted, and now a couple times since I've been putting them up and leaving them up about Bill Gates and stuff. And I finally found the clip on a couple different channels. The one I'll be using it on, though, is Forgotten History. I do recommend, and I'll be putting in the link after this is recorded. I do recommend that you watch that channel. The main guy is like a professor, a retired professor, and he's an Army and Marines veteran, kind of a tall, lanky guy. He knows his stuff really well. And the video that's been done since then, or on his channel most recently, to my knowledge, whether it's the most recent one or not, is Rise of the New World Order. I finally found that clip on Bill Gates. There's good information on him. And right before Bill Gates, how it starts out is over the history of George Soros and the backstabbing Jew that he was and is. I say that as a Jew man myself. Checking him out like I have, but I won't be playing his stuff right now. I'll just go over Bill Gates first. Also, folks, I'm going to be putting up a couple of articles on food, like the butter, that Bill Gates wants us to eat and stuff like that. There were a couple articles I did find in other windows. Also, there were a couple I couldn't get because I would have to pay to get them, and it's not that big of a deal to me. I don't want to spend money on that. If you want to, if you're doing pretty well financially, that by all means do it. But the ones I found are more than competent. So we're going to be going over a number of things here. Because you got people, as far as trust the ones who rule your government, I mean, let's be honest here. We're not getting out of President Trump what we wanted, what he said he would give us. He is a traitor. He's a backstabber. He's greedy. He's evidently been talked to an extent into going along with this agenda. And I've always told you, though, who would you rather vote for? Trump, who did close the borders, has done an excellent job and has done a fairly decent job with arresting, having illegal aliens arrested and so on. And I still believe that. However, I'm just getting to the point now, does it really matter anymore? No, I didn't want the border to remain open. I didn't want some buffoon in there who she couldn't do anything without a script right in front of her. Couldn't climb her way out of a margarita glass, JD bottle, whatever it is that she likes so much. Who knows? I don't know her preferred drink. And who cares? Does it really matter? No. You drink too much 3-2 beer, you're going to get stupid drunk. Not that she needs any help with that. But I digress, I guess. I'm glad that the border is closed. The approximate 3 million that have been detained, some have been deported, some have not. They're still in custody. Those 3 million would be out. And how many more millions would be brought in? I mean, God only knows where we'd be as a nation that way. However, does it really matter anymore? AI data centers, which I knew I need to get more information on. I won't be going over it really much tonight. I've given a little bit of info out, like the one they want to put in Utah is 40,000 acres. That's only 3,766 acres less than the whole land of the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. That is astronomical. So it's not like I don't know anything about it. I gave you some things on some people in Louisiana who kicked out some incumbents and that because they voted against the people's will, some local city councilors. But I need to get more detailed information, research it, and give it to you. Welcome to one of my longtime subscribers, Carolyn Gannon. Glad you're here, sis. And hope you stay through the whole thing. Now, please thumb it up, Carolyn. I just want to get the video out. I'm not making any money on YouTube, I guarantee you. Now, that being said, I'm going to be focusing on food because we have non-government people. Bill Gates is the one who stands out the most to me on this specific subject. Not that the others don't have anything to do with it. It's just he's the most prolific one on it. And I'm not saying that as a compliment, folks. I'm not. But a man who holds no political position. He is not a congressional member to vote on anything. He's not a senator. He's not in the White House in any way, shape, or form as far as a position. He's not even just a local city councilor anywhere. But he has more power that way than anyone I know. Welcome to Drone Life, Andy. I don't remember seeing you before. Glad you're here. Please sub if you haven't. Hit the notification bell. Now, that being said, that's the problem. Who are we going to put in? Who are we going to put in? How would this be with Kamala, the diva wannabe harass you? That's what I call her. Her full name is Kamala Debbie Harris. I mean, take your pick. But going back to, well, you better start fasting and praying hard then, if that's what you want, Drone. But sticking to the subject, folks, I looked up now. Bill Gates. Owns anywhere from 242,000 to 275,000 farm acreage. Now, that being said, depending on the source, he owns farm acres from anywhere from 17 to 19 states. I was able to find 17 solidly. So if there's 19, there's another 2 that I'm missing. Well, maybe somebody can help me out here. That being said, we'll go over them. I wrote Wyoming. 2 is Colorado. 3 is Nebraska. Arizona. 5 is New Mexico. 6 is Wisconsin. 7 is Iowa. 8 is Illinois. 9 is Indiana. 10 is Arkansas. 11 is Louisiana. 12 is Mississippi. 13 is Florida. 13 is Florida. 14 is Ohio. 15 is California. 16 is Michigan, and 17 is North Carolina. Now, that doesn't mean it's necessarily in that order, but those are the states that I found concrete evidence that he owns a certain amount of acreage. Now, I could have written down, I just chose not to, about how many acres he owns in each of those states, and does it really matter? No, it's what he's doing that matters. And he's being deceptive, I know, and I'll explain that again, like I have in previous live streams. We'll get to that. He donates a lot of money. I think he's the second. Well, he owns the most acreage in America for a single man, not corporation, but just a single person. The World Health Organization, I think he's second in donations. The United States has donated more, if I'm right, and then comes Bill Gates. But he's pushing to not eat red meat. Bill Gates is a big donator to them. Also, he's into that saber fat. And this butter was made in the 1920s. No, but this wasn't butter. This was made in the 1920s. The ingredients that they have. But you know what it was made 100 years ago for in the roaring 20s? Well, for gases into fuel. You'll find it in diesel, ladies and gentlemen. And you want to eat that? I hope not. We are doing our best. We eat our own eggs. We eat chicken meat and that. We're not fully there yet. And when I do go to stores like Save-A-Lot, I talk to the butchers and try to get the best that I can until we're self-sufficient enough to get our own, hopefully get it 100%. That's my goal. Why go short? No. Listen to what I'm saying. Of course, I'm not supporting I support the closed borders. Of course I do. Arresting illegals, yes. There's another thing that Trump is doing. I'll bring this up, and I hate it. He just, because he recently met with President autocrat, really, Xi Jinping in China, and he's been talked into China. He thinks it's a good idea. He thinks it's a good idea now for China to own land in the United States, and I'm totally against that too. But sticking to Bill Gates, I am going to get this on, and because I finally found this clip. I watched the whole video back, 9 years ago when I was up in my home state, Minnesota. But that being said, folks, I'm not, I don't want to, anyway, all I found was a clip. I found it on the Dark Waters YouTube channel and on Forgotten History channel, and I do recommend, I'm subbed to this channel also, as well as that Army Marine guy and professor, another guy who's an ex-Marine helps him out. He's a filmmaker too, and they both participate in this particular video. I do recommend their channel, and due to YouTube purposes, I'll have to put up the link, which I'm more than happy to this particular video when I'm done. Let me get it. It's gonna take some time. Okay, here we are, and here we go. Yes, indeed. Here we are. Now, like I said, the first part, almost 21 minutes, is on George Soros. Let's go to Bill Gates, and I'll show you that clip, because I've said this before, folks, and I'll say it again now. I remember watching a video where Bill Gates I think it was on TED Talks or something like that, and he said that the population currently is 6.8 billion. Well, that was back in 2015. We have more people now worldwide, but he said within so many years it'll be up to 9 billion. But with vaccines and healthcare and all that, we can cut it down to 10 to 15%. And I've always asked, what does he mean by that? Is he going to make men ED? Is he going to, but if not that, is he going to make them shoot blanks? We're all adults here, right? Is he going to mess with the women's ovaries? Is he going to do all of the above and more? And, if you were to ask him a question like that, he won't answer. He'll walk away. He'll have a security in front of your face. I've seen it happen to people, because he doesn't have to answer to anybody. Hell, he doesn't have to answer to the president of the United States. Okay, let's get this moving. I'm going to go ahead and play this.
Back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. But there we see an increase of about 1.3.
Hey, how often while looking for an exclusive romantic partner do you suddenly realize that the dating pool is getting smaller and you need to find a way to find that special someone outside your circle?
He started as the boy genius behind.
Okay. He's a piece of work, I'm telling you. I don't know if I need to put anything more out on him. Like I said, Rise of the New World Order is on the Forgotten History channel. It's 2 days old now. This guy is trash. That's obviously a picture from I think when he was a nerd in college, right when he dropped out or something like that, maybe. A lot younger back then. Let's see. He's got to be either 70 years old now or he's going to be. So that being said, folks, there you have it. The population slow it down with vaccines, 10, 15%. I really want to know what he means by that, but don't think he's going to tell you. All right, that being said, I've got where's the article? Uh-oh.
Close it.
It's just that it's not letting me get to it. Evidently, I may have to pay for this one. It's on the Parade newsletter. Hold on, I'll try that. Oh, here we are. Okay. Now, this is on eggs, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, it's been quite a while now. We've been able to eat our own eggs again. What, about a year and a half, you think we've been eating our own eggs? We haven't had. And frankly, with the lab-made eggs, literally made in a laboratory and mRNA in the ones that even aren't, I don't want to mess with that. We'll eat our own eggs. Now, this is a good popular pasture. I mean, a guy who's own eggs with chickens free ranging and all that. But then it started going into what do you call it? The stock markets and that. And of course, he has to do as they say. And, you know, money means more to you, then so be it. That's, who knows what's going on. But this is the Parade magazine or whatever you call it online. Fans are calling for a boycott of this popular egg brand over greenwashing claims. Here's what to know. And they're supposedly organic, folks. All right. This is from January 21st of this year, 2026. If there's anything we've learned in recent years, it's how little we actually know about our food and where it comes from. Outside of the items we get farmers market or the veggies and produce we grow ourselves, many of the things that eventually make their way into the grocery aisle are shrouded in complicated, shady mystery, not to mention scaling a company enough so that its products are worth taking up shelf space in an already crowded marketplace is no easy feat. That's why after a certain point, some brands invite private equity to help them add fuel to the fire. Get out of there. Hold on. Okay. Let's get out of there. Okay. Vital Farms is also a certified B Corp, which means it has recognized for its high standards in social responsibility and environmental impact. Sounds great, right? Sure on its surface, but a recent third-party lab test has consumers questioning if Vital Farms is who they say they are at all. The lab test conducted in collaboration with Michigan State University revealed that about 2 Vital Farms eggs contain the same amount of linoleic acid as 1 tablespoon of canola oil. Folks, this is not stuff you want to be consuming if you can help it. The only thing funnier than
welcome to my cousin Michelle.
The only thing funnier than Vital Farms getting in trouble again for greenwashing is them trying to leverage influencer fatigue to make it go away. Bruh, people are sick of influencers, but not nearly as sick as they are of corporations. Where was I? I just lost. Okay. Where's that? Hold on. Doggone it. I'll get it. I hope. They're really making a problem for me here. I'm telling you. It just sucks. On it. I'm saying doggone it. Okay, right here. Linoleic acid is an essential omega-6 fatty acid for bodily functions. However, modern diets have been shown to contain excessive amounts that may pose long-term health risks. The higher linoleic acid content is due to what Vital Farms feeds its chickens, according to its website. In addition to letting its hens forage for natural grasses and bugs, Vital Farms supplements their feed with a mix of corn and soybean meal infused with paprika or marigold to help them produce those rich golden yolks. Think of it like how a natto is used to color cheese or farm-raised salmon is fed as taxanthin, a natural pigment found in microalgae to mimic the color of wild salmon. While none of this is decidedly nefarious, the findings have prompted swift backlash on social media, with several people accusing the company of greenwashing. From TikTok to Instagram, several armchair experts and health influencers have made videos deriding the company for using misleading marketing tactics to get people to pay more for their eggs. On average, a carton of Vital Farm eggs costs between $7 and $14. Now, I'm guessing that's because, depending on what part of the country you're in, folks. Yeah, if you're in California buying them, you're going to pay a lot of money. The visceral reaction prompted Vital Farms to create a video of their own addressing the claims, and let's just say things got pretty exciting in the comments. Among the minefield of questions were several complaints from people who professed to be loyal fans, but after learning of the feed practices, they decided to seek an alternative. Buy Vital Farms. Thanks for ripping us all off, said one comment, which racked up over 1,000 likes. Boycott Vital Farms, chimed in someone else. Outside of the vitriol, there were a few more level-headed comments, with people posing genius questions about the decision to use soy. Yeah, that's a good question. Why would you give your chicken soy and corn feed in the first place? And just before I continue on, it makes a little more sense to add maybe a little bit of corn in the wintertime to help keep them warm. If you give them too much corn, folks, they won't lay eggs. They get too clogged up. I know this. We bought, back when we were homesteading in Florida, we got some chickens from a guy. We butchered a few of them, but we kept one hen. And the guy didn't know why, but he said she hasn't lain in months. Probably never will again. He didn't know why. Well, he fed her strict and the other strict corn feed, I should say. Well, within a week, I think it was a week and a half, she laid her first egg for us. And we had her for, I think, 5-6 months before we had to butcher her. And she had laid a good number of eggs for us because we gave her no more corn. Anyway, continuing on. Posing question about corn feed in the first place. In response, Vital Farms said, we've explored numerous soy alternatives over the years and have found there are other trade-offs with these alternatives, such as taste, sourcing challenges, or the ability to scale with our growing network of 575 plus family farms to influence change in industrialized farming. Although objectively, this isn't a failure on Vital Farms' part, it does expose how little information we can glean from a quick browse at the grocery store and puts a spotlight on how effective marketing can impact what we mindlessly buy without context. Most of the eggs sold at the grocery store use similar feed, regardless of how they've labeled, due to murky regulations and complicated legalese, as in legalities, I suppose. That includes other premium brands such as Happy Egg Corporation, Nellie's, and Pete and Jerry's. The only way to avoid corn or soy is to look for eggs labeled soy and corn free, but you'll likely have to order those from a specialty supplier. That being said, consider this your reminder to look beyond the label and not take everything at face value. You might be surprised by what you find out. Also, is anyone suddenly craving an omelet? Okay, funny, haha. We do. We eat fried eggs, scrambled, and Deb makes up omelets sometimes. Let me get that out of there. Okay. Hello, Michelle. And I'll go ahead and click that window out. One less window to have to deal with. Anyway. Oh, boy, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now, I'm looking into the butter. Let me get this. Who is pushing not to eat? Okay. World Health Organization is pushing not to eat red meat. Bill Gates is a big donator to them. Savor fat is used in butter now. Bill Gates butter, of course. And I already told you about that, how there are ingredients in it that back 100 years ago, and it's still in right now for that matter, to use for gases, okay, and fuel, whether it's regular gas, leaded or unleaded, or diesel fuel. I mean, if that's what you want to put in your bodies, more power to you. We will not do this, at least not knowingly. But that being said, I'm going to have to. I don't want to open up another window. I really don't. I already did that one for Bill Gates. Bill Gates has got his grubby little hands and so much stuff. And I know I wrote it down, the German channel or Germ channel or something. What?
Yeah, Bill Gates also, if people should know that land that they are taking from us for the agriculture and farmers and ranchers, they strategically put these data stations in drought torn areas, and he buys up the lands that the aquifers, your natural aquifers, are underneath the ground, and he is repiping them to direct them to a totally different direction so that he can control the water. You control the food, you control the water, you control the economy, you control the people.
Okay. Now this next one, and I have another article for it, a short article. I'll share that first and read it. Okay. There we go. And share. And now this article comes from the American Butter Institute. American Butter Institute seeks Food and Drug Administration action against dairy-free butter. They're trying to go against the real good butter. Now, this is from June 25th of 2025. It's almost a year old. But it's a pretty recent article. Let me read this quick. In a strongly worded complaint sent Wednesday to the Food and Drug Administration, America's butter marketers asked the agency to take action against Country Croc's dairy-free and salted butter, asserting that the product's label violates federal regulations. Okay, before I continue on to the next paragraph, you need to know that. Obviously, I'm breaking this rule of mine. But if you're going to get stuff, get them from personal farmers and stuff as much as you can, or make it yourself. I want Deb making butter as soon as possible, too. We will go to other people for that right now. And keep quiet about it. There's no reason to be bragging it up. Yes, you want to help that other homesteader. I get that. Maybe get the word out amongst yourselves. But that being said, folks, if you're getting all this stuff, I wouldn't necessarily give the names to some of these small people because they may come in and say you're breaking all these federal regulations. And again, it's done by more non-elected officials with all this authority. Go to the next paragraph. The plant-based bread's front label in bold letters described itself as a form of butter, although federal standards of identity along with legislation passed by Congress defines butter as a product made from milk. In reality, and is admitted in the much smaller font on the package label, the Country Crock products described as 79% plant-based oil spreads. Look, when I want plants to eat, and I did that, you can see that. I think it's in the last live stream. I displayed our salad. We get it right from the ground out here. Even though it's raining, I want to go out there later and help Deb, and we get our own salad again for tonight because we have our own. We have a pound of blue cheese, but I don't want it. I don't know what they're putting in there. They have the ingredients to an extent. There's stuff that they won't show you. Okay, let's continue on. What?
Broad plantain, narrow plantain, curly plantain, dandelions. Yes. You can use
those purple flower things.
Purple cloves, white cloves, and you also can use chicory. And there's others that we're going to get marigold and everything else.
We have all that on our property. I don't have to go. We don't have to go to the store for salads at all, any more than we do eggs. Okay, next paragraph. Country Crock is attempting to leverage the premium perception of real dairy butter maintained by consumers, said Christopher Gallen, executive director of ABI. The manufacturer is clearly trying to confuse the consumer about what this product is, an ultra-processed seed oil concoction. That's not good for your system, folks. Trust me, it's not. This product may indeed be a crock from the country, but it's certainly not butter. Gallen said that as margarine and vegetable oil spreads have declined in sales, companies are seeking to capitalize on butter's resurgent popularity by misappropriating the term butter and applying it to products that clearly do not meet butter's federal standard of identity. Butter manufacturers have to follow federal labeling standards, but the proliferation of fake butters is eroding the integrity of the marketplace, he said. The ABI letter was sent today to the director of the FDA's Office of Nutrition and Food Labeling, Claudine Cavanaugh. The National Milk Producers Federation raised a similar objection to Country Crock in 2019 when the company introduced a plant-based butter. These people are trying to force us. Bill Gates and cool it. These people are trying to force us to eat. Look, I don't need Bill Gates or anybody else telling me all this. I just, how you doing, Gangster Talk? Now I can see my thing again since I'm going to go ahead and unshare. I'm already sharing this. Okay. But now I'll get to the video. If you people are here and you haven't liked it yet, please hit the thumbs up just to help get it out. Okay. Now this next one is the video on, hold on. There we go. The Max German channel. and I'll be more than happy to. I'm going to put his link up to this specific video. This is not butter, folks. Guarantee you, it's not. Let me go ahead and play this for you.
Butter has been a food that humans have eaten for as far back as 10,000 years. Now, typically to make real butter, the process is incredibly simple. You take cream, you churn it, and you get butter. But that is about to change. A Bill Gates-backed startup has just commercially launched a new butter. It contains no cream, no milk, no animals, and even no plants. It's made in a factory using chemistry originally developed in the fuel industry. And here's what nobody's talking about. This butter isn't just going on shelves with a label for you to choose. Instead, it's being sneakily rolled out by being sold directly to restaurants, bakeries, and multinational food corporations as an ingredient, meaning it gets mixed into the food you already eat, and you will never know it's there. And it's moving very fast. They've already secured generally recognized as safe clearance. They've already launched commercially, and they're already in talks with some of the biggest packaged food companies on the planet. By the time most people hear about this, they'll already be eating it. Before we break down exactly how they're building butter, using a process designed for petroleum, let's have a look who's actually behind this. The company is called Savor, and the first major investor is none other than Bill Gates, who led the initial funding with $10 million through his fund Breakthrough Energy Ventures, part of the same Breakthrough Energy network that has received $100 million climate program. And Gates himself.
Okay. This is one of the articles I couldn't get unless if I wanted to pay for it. So, what I did, this is a similar article, it should suffice. The BlackRock Foundation grants $100 million to Breakthrough Energy's Catalyst program for investments focused on clean energy technologies. I suppose I can read it. This is from September 20th of 2021. Okay. The BlackRock Foundation today announced a $100 million grant to Breakthrough Energy's Catalyst program to help accelerate the development of the climate solutions necessary to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. The grant reflects BlackRock's commitment to expanding the availability and affordability of clean energy solutions to help the world transition to a net zero economy. Okay, I'm going to let you find the article and read the rest. For two reasons. One, you need to be critical thinkers, and I know a lot of you on my channel, a lot of my followers are. Okay, so if it doesn't apply, let it fly. I'm not, those of you who may need some work on it yet, read incessantly. Here's the other reason, because of this first paragraph. To help accelerate the development of the climate solutions necessary to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. I know I wrote it down. Something though, real butter too, as compared to the crap that we're going to see on that channel. Because I'm going to show a little bit more of that video. I'm going to show clips of it. That fake butter that guy is showing on Max German, it does not contain vitamin A. It does not contain vitamin D. It does not contain vitamin K2. Nor butyrate. He may say butyrate. Okay, but butyrate, butyrate. It's B-U-T-Y-R-A-T-E. These are in real butter. Real butter gives you this, and you need it. Okay? I mean, obviously, vitamin D is for... it gives you the same effect, or hopefully anyway, as the sun. You need sunshine on you. Vitamin K and K2 and that help with your blood to keep it from running so easily. You don't want clots, obviously, but you do want your blood to flow. But you want it to flow, but you don't want it to flow too fast. Vitamin K is necessary so you don't bleed out too fast. Now, we have a lot of that naturally in our bodies. The people who don't, they have to be on special medication or a special diet or maybe both. Because if they even so much as get just a little scratch, for example, just I'm not going to scratch myself, by the way. But if I was just to give myself a scratch, and if I was one of those people, you better get me to an emergency room fast. Die quickly. And those people do exist. So the more vitamin K and K2 in that you can get in you, the better off you are. That fake butter has none of that, folks. That's that other. Some of the companies that it shows too that this stuff is in, folks. It's really. I used to eat a lot of this stuff. Deb and I have eliminated a lot of stuff out of our grocery shopping.
Not yet. We order a lot now.
Also, like when we go shopping in a few days, it may not be 100%, but I'm thinking over 80%, Deb, that we're going to be buying sardines. oh man.
We need to go whenever this rain stops. We need to go fishing, so I can can up our own fish again.
I know, but I grew up and raised in Minnesota. You know how much I used to fish.
Yeah, you love it whenever I make my natural fish. Though.
I do. I should just send you out with a fishing pole in the dinghy boat and come home when you're done.
I don't have a dinghy.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll probably go fishing with you. Why not? Let me get rid of this. Bing. Okay. I've got another article. I'll read some of that, probably all of it, this next one. But let's show more. Because here's companies, folks, that are using this kind of crap. That, I know I've had to have consumed it to an extent. I've gotten it to where it's a lot less. But let's do this.
Synthetic replacement. But it gets a lot worse than this. Mondelez International, the company behind Oreo, Cadbury, Ritz, and Toblerone, Saver. But instead, they are accelerating this product by actively exploring how to use this synthetic fat inside their own products. And all of this is moving very quickly. Saver only became its own company in 2022. And in early 2024, Gates was already so confident in the product that he published.
Okay. Next.
I couldn't believe that wasn't butter, where he tested the product and made two very interesting statements.
What do you think?
That's great. Oh, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that wasn't butter.
Okay, that's great.
Agricultural emissions are one of the most difficult to get rid of. People have come up with alternative food, but what we're seeing is that it's hard to get more than a small market share.
He's talking in business language, and that's exactly what this is, a business. In fact, not once in this entire 2.5-minute video did he mention the words health or nutrition. He didn't mention vitamins and minerals or what this product actually does for your body or how it compares nutritionally to real butter.
Okay, I'm going to move it up a little bit and I'm going to show you this to back up what I said about the vitamin K, A, and D. Give me a second here. If I can find it, because I think it's in this video. I used to work in the medical field, and Frank, I do my own research. I'm a lot more, and I'm not bragging, but I'm a lot more knowledgeable and advanced in this stuff. Here we are. Like I said, if you know how to read, even just halfway decently, you don't have to be an educated, trained, critical reader like me to know these things. Okay, it's not required. And if you read more, you'll get better at it. Your comprehension level will rise. I mean, the public school system did me some good before it became the public school system. But read. Let's continue.
Genuinely could not tell the difference between this and real butter. This is the trick. It supposedly tastes the exact same, and it is, quote, chemically identical to real butter. It sounds like you're getting the same product, but you're not. It's not even close. Real butter isn't just a simple fat molecule. It's a whole food. Real butter contains vitamin A, which supports your immune system and vision. It contains vitamin D, which is essential for mood. It contains vitamin K2, which directs calcium into your bones and arteries. It also contains butyrate, which is one of the primary fuel sources for your gut. These are nutrients your body actually uses every single day. And guess what? Not a single one of these nutrients are in Savor's product. They're calling this product butter. They're serving it to people in restaurants.
Oh, please.
And it contains none of the gut-supporting nutrients and none of the fatty acids that make butter one of the most nutritious foods on the entire planet. What you're really getting is the structure of butter without any of the substance, a fat molecule with no nutritional value. And here's why this matters. When you consistently replace nutrient-dense fats with nutrient-empty alternatives, your body doesn't get what it needs to run inflammatory responses, repair itself, and to produce hormones to any significant degree. Of course, your body isn't going to break down overnight if you consume it once, but slowly your energy it'll weaken. Your hormones will drift out of balance, and your ability to recover that will decline. When you replace real, nutrient-dense animal fats with industrial alternatives, whether it's seed oils, margarine, which is basically the same thing, or synthetic fats made from gas, your body doesn't get what it actually needs to function. Over time, this adds up, and most people don't even realize it's happening until it's too late.
The quickest way from a billion points of data to a point of view.
Hold on a minute. Commercial.
Enjoy.
The worst part is, there are zero studies on what happens when humans consume thermochemically synthesized fats every day for months or even years. Zero. It is simply crazier. You'd think this product was at least tested before it could be sold. That would be logical. You'd assume there's at least a little bit of testing done, right? Well, one independent. The way this works is Savor sells its product under something called a self-affirmed GRAS designation. GRAS stands for...
Okay, I've shown enough of that part. Here's the... That's just like 2020 with the coronavirus or the vaccine. When I used to be in the medical field and we talk about this around the nurse's desk, just have conversations or patients, and the FDA by then, to approve a drug or anything was around 12 to 15 years. We knew this. In 2020, when that supposedly scamdemic, call it what you will, came through, they gave out the vaccine without any approval, any studying. Just like here, this is not the vaccine was not studied at all either on humans. Also, when they did approve it, it was within a few months after that. And it was still less than a year into it, if you remember. Recollect things here. It's still in 2020. In 2020, I believe. Yeah, during the Trump-Pence administration. Now, that being said, folks, when you're looking at that, all these dogs are something else. She's got her little ESA pets out. But anyway, that being said, folks, here's another thing. They supposedly had the ingredients to the vaccine now. At that time, they didn't. The doctors would get the vaccine, and there was nothing on the paper. No, absolutely, it was blank. I don't care if it's anywhere from the lowest graduate medical doctor to the highest, number one in the class. He or she is officially a medical scholar on the record, and you get a blank piece of paper, you don't even know what you're shooting, what you're injecting into people. How stupid, how retarded. And I always questioned that. Not only that, but think about it, they were giving out prizes and money for people who'd come and get it. Deb and I sure didn't do it. I didn't need the money and the prizes badly, but also, too, now back to the butter. That guy just said it. It's synthetic butter, and it's served in many restaurants, and no studies have been done. Let me unshare this. No, wait. Hold on. I think, is there something else I need to do? I mean, you can watch this. It's Bill Gates' new butter is insane, ... Okay. I'll just go ahead and get it off the live stream now. Again, I'll be putting in the link. And I'll go ahead and start with this article by CBS of all dumb things. What are you doing?
My cousin.
Oh,
She just wanted to
'cause you-
see what the new food. It helps with gut health and natural probiotics. It helps with your vitamin intake. Your metabolism slows down when you eat all these poisons and stuff in the stores. Okay, these foods are killing people. It drops the sperm count. It causes low birth weight, Asperger's, autism, lower IQ, and miscarriages.
Yeah, you don't want to have your IQ as low as mine.
Anyway, most people don't realize what they're eating, and they're poisoning us.
Okay, and they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
All right, now this article is from August 6th of 2025, so obviously that's less than a year ago. It's from the CBS News. Who's the journalist? Oh, Tara Molina. I really don't know anything about her. A company in Batavia, Illinois, is making butter in a way you've never seen before. No animals, no plants, no oils. This butter is made from carbon. The sustainability-focused approach has the blessing and backing of Bill Gates. It looks, smells, and tastes like the butter we all know, but it's made without the farmland, fertilizers, or emissions tied to the typical process. I'm going to bring that up here in a little bit. I've been meaning to do this in this live stream, and I will be bringing up this subject of that hypocritical billionaire piece of trash. Okay, this unprecedented process is happening at the facilities of Sabor in an industrial park in the suburbs west of Chicago. So you're using this gas right now to cook your feed, and we're proposing that we would like to make your food with that gas, said Kathleen Alexander, co-founder and CEO of Sabor. The company's pioneering tech uses carbon and hydrogen to make sticks of butter that anyone would recognize. This is pretty novel to be able to make food that looks and tastes and feels exactly like dairy butter, but with no agriculture whatsoever, said Jordan Biden Charles, food scientist for Sabor. See, these people are getting paid off. Again, you can actually, you can read the. It is CBS News. Butter made from carbon tastes like the real thing. Gets backing from Bill Gates. They keep going into the climate nonsense. I wrote it down because that hypocrite Bill Gates. Yeah. Bill Gates pressures people to not use carbon emissions while he flies around in his private jets. And he averages around 200,000 miles on private air travel every year. He's had over 200,000 miles in a year before. You and I aren't going to use that many emissions with a regular car or a pickup or anything within our lifetime, folks. You're not going to do it. But he's the man, and what he says goes. And he's, anyway, I don't know what to. I'm not going to have people dictating to me. They're making it tough. Deb and I and others are having to work real hard and look into things to see if we can eat like we did 40 years ago. I mean,
it's getting hard.
It's not
and
getting
it's
any
expensive.
easier. Yeah,
buying your own flour that ain't bleached, and they got yoga mat mixture in it and all that. I mean,
yeah. But Max German and Forgotten History, we're going to be doing that, giving you that. Okay, because I'm going to watch that whole video. I guess I'll have to get rid of that.
Stay tuned for updates.
Yeah.
If you hit the notification bell, we're always coming out with new information for people to be up with.
I mean, I can do this all day long with you folks. I can read article after article. Now, that last article advocates for that nonsense. Go figure. I mean, CBS, right? But they're doing it blatantly right in front of our faces. I don't know about you, but I like real food.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that butter probably could easily fool my taste buds if I didn't know any better. You know, if I wasn't looking at it in the store. There's another thing too, when we go grocery shopping, this is a totally different subject, but they've now got those little cameras by the price tags. I think I'm going to give them a greeting with my middle finger if I see one. Anyway.
Yeah, you have to grow a taste for all this natural stuff.
But there's
they've got you chemically.
Yeah, keep that in mind too. If you eat more natural, too, where you're not used to eating good, wholesome food, and it'll taste weird to you. Even though the salad tasted good enough to me that I showed on my last live stream,
It's really strong and bitter.
it's really strong and bitter, but it's the way it's supposed to be. And now lack of teeth, folks, it takes me a lot more to chew, longer to chew things than that. Go figure. So if you have a good set of teeth, you're a lot better off than I am that way. But back to, like even Vital Farms, that was a small farm when we were on eggs. It started with the man started it with 20 chickens, and they were out in the yards and stuff around on the pasture, and they were public. They eventually became a publicly traded company with hundreds of millions of dollars. And he started out with 20 Rhode Island redheads in 2007, but it was 2020 when it went to Wall Street. And he had to play by their rules. Maybe the money got to him. I don't know. No, as time goes on, giving you more information in detail than what I have before on AI data centers. That needs to come out. It's putting electricity bill up for a lot of people. It's ruining their water. If you live beside it, you have to hear that crap 24/7. Sometimes, some people are actually getting kicked off their land, generations of land that, generations that they've owned it. Some of them anywhere from 100 years ago to 250 or more, back when we broke from Britain with the Revolutionary War. They'll be offered a price, and if they don't take it and don't want to get rid of it, sometimes they're forced off.
Our great president is not stopping it.
No. President Trump is actually sticking up for this silliness, for this evil stuff. He's changed. Not saying that he was ever a saint. I don't think he was, but he was not this way during his first term, folks. So that being said, I don't know. It's just he's different now. So I don't know what else really to say. Trying to think if something else would come up.
I just want to say something to a couple of people.
Okay.
If you go on, I'm not supporting every company, but if you go on and look for chicory, okay? Now, they talk about kimchi, which is expensive, or either if you eat it raw, it's very salty.
Yeah.
Okay? Some people can't stand too much of the salty thing or can't do. You can go on Amazon and look up CHI chicory.
Yeah, CHICORY.
Yeah, look up chicory. Grow them in pots.
Yeah, you can grow them in pots.
You want natural gut and metabolism increaser and protection? Grow you some chicory. That'll help you be able to kick out some of this
back
stuff.
to this, folks, too. We have things going on here. Now, if you don't have the land, you can figure out how to do things in your house or your apartment.
Like pots.
Right now, what type of tree is that that's recovering from that dog chewing on it?
It was a wild sour plum.
Yeah. Is it just one tree? Two.
Well,
okay, we have
one now, but yeah.
Yeah, it's one tree now, wild sour plum tree, and it is making a comeback. Hopefully it'll start getting plums next year. We also bought a sour plum tree along with a sweet plum tree, and we put them beside each other. That was 3 months ago, I believe. And I had to dig the hole for that one and put them in and put coffee grounds in.
You got a black apple, green apple.
Anyway, will you let me finish? when we did that. And there was the next month after that. We got a black apple tree and a green apple tree, put them together. Same thing with whole and used coffee grounds. We watered it. And now just recently, 3 days ago probably, we got 2 cherry trees, a black cherry and
Red cherry.
a red cherry. And I did the same thing.
Northern Star.
I haven't had to, I put the coffee grounds on it. I only barely watered it enough to get the grounds mixed in with it, but I haven't had to water it because it's been raining. In fact, it was raining again, or it is now, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to show people.
Here's what we're doing inside of our house in our homestead.
Okay, you might be able to see it here.
You can kind of see
We've
it.
got some papaya trees and a couple of other things growing in here. You can get these really cheap on Amazon or at Walmart on certain things. It's a plant light. Okay. And you grow your own fruits and vegetable trees.
Yep.
You make sure that they're reputable and not GMO plants, but it's just you can grow these things in your home, and if you have a small tiny yard, after these you will transplant these to a little bit bigger of a pot, and once they get about, I'd say, around that height or whatever, put them in your yard, plant them in the ground, get you some upside down. They got these tomato things. They're called upside down tomato growers.
Yeah.
Planters.
I mean, there's
you can
ways.
hang them off of your balcony.
There's ways to do that, folks. So maybe we should do a separate live stream and give instruction, like an instructional video. But I just thought I'd let you know. I might want to do some things on George Soros later. Maybe some things on Klaus Schwab. Larry, isn't that his name? Larry Fink, who's now the president, CEO, whatever, of World Economic Forum. He took over for Klaus, old boy, and wanted to take money out of everybody's pensions and all that, retirement, to help pay for data centers and
$22.3 trillion, and says everybody will lose their money.
$22.3 million or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of subjects to go over here. And don't depend on Bush, don't depend on the Bushes either. We don't depend on Trump. He's not going to, he's been, I don't know if he's been bought off. I'm sure it's a combination of things, but
when it comes down to it, in the end times, they are just being used
We're on
as
our
a
own.
tool.
We're on our own, folks. Don't depend on Bobby Kennedy Jr. He's starting to falter too. Yep. I think he's probably one of the most, if not the most sincere one of the administration, but even he's fallen back on things. He's swaying. And we don't need those people. We don't need them to know how to do this stuff. Okay. We never did. We've lost a lot of stuff in the sense of knowledge, but it's there for the taking now again. With the internet, it's all there. You can chart it and write it down in diaries now again. You can, or even order some things like Stout. She's gone now, but the way she did her gardens, you've got Hugo Couture. Let me talk about that.
Yeah.
I always wondered why Bill Gates was doing that, like having the trees cut down and buried in his farm acreage. I knew there was something to it, because I think I'd heard about it when I was 3 or 4 years old. But you don't really absorb much when you're that young, just barely above toddler stage. And when I watched Stellar Eureka YouTube channel, it showed where there's certain trees you want to use, branches and stumps and whatever. Well, you put them in underneath anywhere from 6 to 10 inches underneath their dirt, and then you grow things on top. I have a future bed garden. I've got a bunch of tree branches on it, and I'm going to we're covering it up with compost and all that this year. I'm hoping that at the end of this month, I'm going to buy some soil bags to help it out. And we'll start planting veggies or whatever, either that or fruits next year. I think I got No, I'd have to look at my other. So Bill Gates knows what he's doing with that. Duh. He's got his utopian idea of, the fruits of the land, and because you won't have to use fertilizer from any big companies or anything, buy anything for 20 years. Hold on a minute. I'm away.
Yeah, all these companies are going under dire need because they
Yeah.
get the synthetic fertilizer. You don't need synthetics if you grow your own compost piles.
Yeah.
The worms will actually break down the stuff, and their fecals will give more phosphorus, calcium, make a good pH balance.
Okay, now I'll type this in.
Grow your own plants, grow your own dirt.
That's the method. It's called hugelkultur. There we are. I knew I could find it. Okay. I purposely wrote it in red ink, so in case I needed to go back and find it.
Yeah.
All right. Hugelkultur, or Stella Eureka YouTube channel, the self-watering, self-fertilizing bed that lasts 20 years. He was a German botanist who wrote a booklet on a type or method of gardening that began a long time ago, and it was he was trying to resurrect it with a pamphlet in 1962, and it was nothing new even back then. It's really probably about 1,000 years old, if not older. Anyway, a well-built mound can remain highly productive for up to 20 years. Wood underneath absorbs water like a sponge. A log under the ground is an underground irrigation reservoir. The ground is an underground irrigation reservoir. I already read that. No extra. No extra watering will need to be done after a year or two. With a pile of logs in 20 years, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, and trace minerals surrounding into the surrounding soil that paces. The mirror's own that paces in the mirror's own seasonal rhythms. Slow, calibrated, and continuous. Oak and maple are good. They break down slowly. Okay. The bed garden slowly enriches over time throughout the years. In other words, your first 2 years, you'll get some growth of whatever you're growing, but it's after that it starts getting better. Okay. It gets better over the years with the logs or the sticks and branches, and they should be buried at least 6 inches below the surface. Mound. Okay. The decaying wood becomes a habitat. Fungal threads push outward in every direction, connecting to plant roots and moving water and nutrients no single root can reach alone. There was a 2024 study at a hold on. 2024 study at a permaculture site showing hugelkulturs show soil carbon is 27% higher than in controlled plots. Okay, now I'm not going to bore you too much here. Now, there are certain types of wood you don't want to put in. It'll harm it. It will do the opposite. All right. Trees or wood to avoid. Okay. Avoid black walnut. Don't put that in there. Don't bury that in your soil. Black cherry wood and cedar wood. Don't put that in there. No, and of course, pressure treated wood. That's just granite. Don't put that in there. Okay, I'll read it one more time. Black walnut, black cherry, cedar, and pressure treated. Don't use any of that. Like, for example, we have a black cherry tree along with the red one. I don't see it being bad in our lifetimes, but if it is and I have to take it down, I'm not going to put it, I'm not going to use that black cherry wood. Bad idea.
Right.
So, little man, what's up? So, anyway, I don't know what else to tell you for right now. I just don't have enough written down for the AI Day of the Centers, and it's getting to be a long stream again. It's over 70 minutes. I know some people, we can go for 4 or 5 hours. I don't want to. I do have things to do. And I'm hoping to be able to take my big dogs outside again if it stops raining long enough.
Next month, we're getting a brown and green soft pear trees.
Yeah, next month we're getting green soft pear and
brown soft pear.
And brown soft pear trees.
And then after that will be 2 different types of peaches and then 2 different types of apricots.
I'll do the same thing when you get the trees. I'll dig a big hole, wide and deep enough, and cover them up, put coffee grounds on them, just keep going and going. This is for the future, folks.
Growing them naturally.
Control the food, control the people.
Control the water, control the economy.
Yeah, control everything. That's Henry Kissinger, the late Henry Kissinger. I'm sure he knows better now. Another pork-eating Jew, backstabbing Jew. I say that freely, folks, because I'm a Jew. So, anyway, take it as you will. But look, hopefully this helped you people. Hopefully you're taking it to heart. If you don't like it, that's fine. Okay. Do your own research. Maybe you can teach me something. I'm cool with that. I'm willing, as well as giving out the information, I'm willing to also take it in and learn things. I'm not close to that. Now, if you give me something really stupid, that's just obvious. Like when Bill Gates says cows are responsible for at least 6% of the methane, which is harming the environment when he flies around in a jet. Well, we've been farming for thousands of years, and all of a sudden in the last few years, it's damaging the environment. Come on, let's get real. Okay, take care, Michelle. And if you want to go by, and I don't believe this for a second, but if according to evolutionists, the people that believe that, if we've been around for billions and billions of years, if they say we've been here, farming for billions of years, that makes my point even more. And all of a sudden, Bill Gates comes along. He's now about a 70-year-old man and 78 jack squat compared to billion. Well, it's not even compared to what I believe it is. 6,026 years. That's how the earth is. In the last 20, 30 years, whatever it is. I don't think so. Again, I showed you the clip. He wants to slow down the human population with vaccines. Make us all simps and imps and and cuckies, I guess. Not happening with me, I guarantee you. But folks, you take care. You stay safe out there. Seek Elohim's will for you. Study the scriptures. Study this information. Research it and ask God what he wants you to do as an individual, to be in his will and to be obedient to him. Peace. Shalom. The Levite man is out of here. Back again soon.